a Players for Life production. Players for Life.
Mic check, mic check. Welcome back, Truthful Talk Radio. This is the live reaction part of the show. If you coming back from the Truthful Talk Radio, I appreciate you. We're about to get into this live reaction video. The Saint and the Sinner versus the Queen Maker. Long live the Godfather, Kevin Samuels. Salute to the Queen, Sister Shahrazad Ali. You are now live.
You're now live in the mix on Truthful Talk Radio.
Let me turn that off so you can hear my voice and nothing but my voice. We're going to get into this live reaction video. Share the live, share the live. This is the time where you could share the live. Let's get into it. Let's get into this live reaction video. The more you interact, the more entertaining and enlightening this show will be. Let's get into it. Share the live so we can get the people back up in the room, Shout out to everybody that came up in there and was listening to the music at Truthful Talk Radio. If you want artists played on Truthful Talk Radio, just send it to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen, truthfultalk@gmail.com. Same thing applies with the live reaction videos. This video I've been meaning to react to for quite a while now. Came out some months back. She's actually going viral now because she got into a debate with Candace Owens. But I wanted to touch on this before I even watched the Candace Owens debate. So if you with me, hit that like button, hit that share button, get over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You are now live. Let's get into it.
You're now live in the mix on Truthful Talk Radio.
Turn your radio up.
Get down, Saint. Because that's your game. And I'm going to let you play your game, and I'm going to let you just run it how you want to, but I'm going to promise you, part of this I can see I'm not going to participate in because I don't got time for the childishness.
Is because you're angry that you're withdrawing. Generally, this is very common when people are losing at something, they don't want to play the game, you see, and it's almost like a woman who can't dance. She says the DJ doesn't know how to play the right music. That's all that's happening right here.
I'm going to take my ball and go home.
You see, all of the things that I said, you've not disproven any of them. And what's worse is that you are clearly a person who's reacting poorly to trauma. You weren't taught grit and coping when you were reared. And I can tell you how I know that because, see, look at this childish cackling.
I was just about to say something. That laughter, that definitive laughter is a sign, yo.
The way I know that is
that truth irritates the demon. And it comes out in laughter, the hyena laugh.
your marriage failed in such a bad way that you're now telling others, don't get married. And that's really a sick, sad thing. And it hurts my heart to see that. You've suffered so badly that you're saying you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater and saying, even though marriages work for a long time, don't get married. Even though the data indicates that the children who are raised in families where their parents are married, they have lower levels of mental illness, which you're clearly displaying. They have lower. This woman is really sick.
Yeah. And now, hearing her do this, I see the disrespect now because I remember one of my really close friends got real aggravated at me because he was speaking and I was laughing. And I wasn't really laughing at what he was saying. I was laughing at because I knew what I was going to respond already because of what he said. But he got upset. And I didn't really understand it. I'm like, yo, you taking it out of proportion. But if you're having serious dialogue or just dialogue in general, and somebody starts giggling and laughing in the middle of it, it's disrespectful.
This is sad.
Well, he wasn't just laughing, Lord.
This is sad. You see, and another thing that you'll notice with personalities like yours, you claim that what I said was a lie, but you didn't dispel any of it. I pointed out that you were not able to get along in a happy marriage and your marriage essentially failed. That's a fact. There's nothing wrong with truth. I pointed out a number of things that are factual, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're
How
not an
is it a fact because you make an opinion? You don't even know who I am.
Did you ask me if I yield the floor like I'm showing you the decorum, and it seems as though you're having trouble catching on to that?
You yield the floor? Do you yield
Yes,
the floor?
I yield the
All
floor.
right. So how
I came down off the screen so you guys could read the the super chats he got going on. Let me back it up just a little bit.
Like I'm showing you the decorum, and it seems as though you're having trouble catching on to that?
you yield the floor? Do you yield
Yes,
the floor?
I yield the floor.
Right. So how do you know me?
Oh, damn. Are you asking me the question right back? You yielding it back to me?
Yeah, I yield you the floor. How do you know me?
All right. Good show. Number one, I do not know you at all. In fact,
Okay,
I think
do you yield the floor?
no, I don't. I think that you show your best front to the public. And I think that if we did get to know you, the things that we would uncover would be quite disturbing. I can see that there's a lot of pain in you, and the pain has created your current mindset.
Oh boy, this is hilarious. Do you yield the floor?
For
Do
example,
you yield the floor?
I said no. For example, you're a person who has gone through marriage, and your marriage.
That giggle is so sinister. You could hear the pain through the laughter. Doesn't sound genuine at all. Who believes that laugh, y'all?
Crumbled, and it broke you on the inside such that you said the whole institution of marriage.
Remember this term, y'all. The truth irritates demons.
Oh yeah. Okay, so don't take
Rather
this
than
shit seriously. Just sit up here and laugh at this shit.
You don't have to curse and be so vulgar. It's okay to be civilized.
She can't even comport herself at all.
And to be refined and to be articulate. You're intelligent enough to be articulate. You don't have to curse. So I'll give you another.
It's hard, Marquette.
You can't handle the truth.
You telling too much truth for
Their chance at the debate. So, for example, you're saying women are the prize, and your point was that in a state of nature they get to deny intercourse, and then my counterpoint was in a state of nature men can force intercourse and no one can stop them, and that is much closer to how the lower animals who are in a state of nature actually engage in it. So your point was moot. Do you have anything else? I have another point about.
Floor?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, the ratio of male to female in these groups, the female typically controls the male, right?
What?
This is about funny as hell. I wanted to let you know. I do want to let you know that I am the center part. So me cursing or saying any curse word is because I'm the center. I'm not no saint. I ain't even gonna pretend to be one.
She asked for the floor to speak, and she can't even say anything worthwhile. She's not even saying anything.
When it comes,
she don't know what to say.
To nature, right? The female is the biological norm. But what you have ultimately displayed, which you probably don't know, is that the male is the problem on the planet. Because an uncontrolled male, yeah, you just said it, y'all, you murder, you do all of these things, and quote unquote, nobody can stop you. You can't even stop yourselves, right? Hence why you need law and law enforcement. Right? And through patriarchal philosophy, is what made you all uncontrollable. You talk about me being uncontrollable, but it's the rapists, it's the murderers, and everything else who happen to be majority male that is doing this, which you pretty much just confirmed that with, we can just take it, right? Because that's y'all's mentality, which is one of the reasons why women shouldn't even be with you anyway, right?
No, he was defeating your point of, oh my God. If you can't even be rational with an irrational person, y'all, this is just crazy.
Because that's how you take it into your marriage.
I really tapped it. You know, I'm trying to get my skills up because I don't have the time for the delusion, man.
Marriages, you take it into your friendships. You take these same mentalities into your relationships with women. Because can't nobody stop you, right? And I yield the floor to you.
Yeah, I see y'all. She talking about she a sinner, but she doing that to be facetious.
You know, I really thank you for that explanation because it speaks to something that is real. There's a real fear among females, and there's a real base for that fear. And in many cases, it's experiential. And one thing I think we can probably agree on is that instances of young people, male and female, but particularly the females, being victim of sexual assault at the hands of adult males or even their siblings is underreported, and it's very detrimental to females and the society. And I think that's driving a lot of these feelings and this pain that you're speaking to right now. And I want to acknowledge that that's a real thing. I think we can agree there, and I hope that we can do something better. And you're right, there are a lot of males who are brutish and uncivilized. The crux of the argument was about who is the prize. So getting back to that, who is the prize? You said that the female is the prize because she has the power of sex. And you refer to a state of nature, meaning without law, government, and policing. And I said, well, in a state of nature, that's still not true because the dominant male can take the sex. Hence, that's just a lie, what you said.
No, can you yield the floor just for a second?
She got caught in a lie. Now she tried to take the floor back.
Just for a second. I just want to respond to that. I just want to respond to that before you get too far away from it.
Madam, I really want you to understand. I want you to watch this video back and self-reflect and notice that a leader, a civilized man, has enough self-control to be prudent and pause and just wait until you're finished to say what he has to say. Conversely, one who is not fit for leadership, you behave more so in an impulsive way in which
That's
you
cool.
can't.
That's cool. I won't be a leader to you, but please yield the floor.
Really, I used to be a 6th grade teacher in Baltimore, Maryland. And one thing I observed consistently among my 11-year-olds is that they were very impulsive because they're young and unrefined.
That's all good. I won't be a leader to you. So since I'm not a leader, can you yield the floor?
The truth irritates demons. Just watch it.
Not a leader to anyone. You are a person who is collecting together broken women.
Even by him leading by example and letting her speak and talking in the same tone is making her more upset because she's not used to. She's usually dealing with low vibrational people that's not intelligent, and she usually chew them up using all of the words and stuff and get them convinced. But when she can't do that, you see the reaction. She don't know how to act.
That's great. Yield the floor, please. That's all I'm asking you.
Why are
I don't care about because I don't care about your opinion.
Damn. They're supposed to be having a intellectual conversation. That's why I said I wanted to watch this before I see, because I want to see the difference. This was some months ago, not too long ago, but I want to see the difference in this debate and the Candace Owens debate. So I will be finding that and reacting to that soon because I haven't watched it.
You yield the floor.
Wow, please. You're a very angry person.
I'll be angry. I will be angry. I will be not a leader. Can you yield the floor? I'm just going to say this. If y'all,
whatever you to say because you don't have any decorum and you're not civilized.
That's all good. That's all good. Now, if the woman is not the prize, then why do you have to take it? Why do you have to and take what ain't a prize? Let me ask you. That's all I want to know.
What?
Do you yield the floor?
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay. So number one, your question is, why do you have to take? You use the term you. I've never taken anything in my life. And here's a fact. The overwhelming majority of males have not sexually assaulted a female probably in their entire life. The overwhelming majority of males. So when you say that, it doesn't even make sense because it's not relevant. You were talking in a theoretical state of nature.
In nature, it's not theoretical. In nature, that's exactly how.
She won't let him finish a statement. And this is where the point I used to get aggravated in conversations because it's like, you keep over talking me.
How it goes.
Ladies, what y'all have to learn to do is be quiet. Shut your mouth and stop talking. When you stop talking, you can't speak and listen at the same time. So sometimes you just gotta stop talking.
That's exactly how it goes in nature.
Interrupting again. You have no control.
Right, Miss Mystical. She wasn't listening. I gotta put that up on the screen. That's because she wasn't listening. Yeah, because you can't speak and listen at the same time. The brain doesn't work like that. So let's get back into it. Hit that like button, y'all.
Behave like
Listen, let's cut the chase and let's go back and forth. Let's have a dialogue. You said in nature, males can just.
We can't have a dialogue because you can only dialogue with civilized persons. I think we've all observed that you keep on interrupting. It's so strange that you would ask me a question and then interrupt me while I'm answering the question you asked.
Amazing.
I mean, come on, let's be real here. And on the other side, I've not interrupted you at all.
But you're deflecting. You're deflecting because you said in nature, males could just take it, and they do just take it. So the question is, if the woman is not the prize, why would males go against her no and just take it? You see, people take money. People rob for money. People rob for food. People take things that are valuable. If the woman is not valuable, why would a male have to take vagina from her?
That was pathetic.
Look at his face. He about to chew her ass up with straight intelligence. Watch this.
Would you like me to answer that?
Go ahead.
Does this mean that you yield the floor and you won't interrupt my response?
She can't. She's going to interrupt you because the truth irritates the demons.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to help you out. You are so broken that you view the
So you ain't got to answer. Got you.
No, I got it. Just don't talk.
No, you ain't got to answer. The broken. Why do males have to take it?
Just stop it. Just stop it. Be silent so you can
You
get
ain't
an
got to answer. Got you.
Just be silent. You're so broken that you identify the woman and sex as the same thing. So when you talk about in a state of nature, if a caveman, for example, if a caveman were to take sex from a woman, you're suggesting that the woman has value because he took the sex. Well, let me make it simple for you. There's a woman, which is a whole being, inclusive of personality, brains, service, all kinds of things, love, all kinds of things. Then there's vagina. The man might, or the caveman, more accurately, he might take the vagina, but he doesn't take the woman. He dominates the body of the woman and then discards her, which is to let you know that the physical sexual value is only a temporary value. And in fact, if you want to put...
She know her point is being defeated. That's where the laugh is coming from. That's the fake laugh. The hyena laugh is what I call it.
Put the male and female up against each other, which is irrelevant.
Just mopped her whole argument away. Let's see what she said.
True value is clearly the male. How do we know? The female declines rapidly in value over time. For example, you at your advanced age, you're not fertile. You can't even have kids. Conversely, if I were the same age as you, I'd still be...
The louder the laugh getting. Y'all listen, pay attention. This is what I'm learning. We're doing this for educational uses. I'm not up in here to be clowning anybody. This is all about learning how to balance negative and positive. Check out playersforlife.com so you can know what I'm talking about. But we have to be able to decipher from these chameleons, these people that act like they're intellectuals and they have all of the knowledge, and they're really just the devil in disguise.
Be able to do everything I could do when I'm 21. You see, I can still have children. I can still run a 6-minute mile. I can still beat a man in a boxing match. All of the values that a man has maintain over a much longer period. And what's worse, the female biology goes through menopause, which basically turns you into a different person. It affects your chemistry. That being said, a female further can only be impregnated by one man at a time, and she's in a greater state of weakness while impregnated and needs to be taken care of. In the modern society, which is broken and has broken families, we even have something for this. It's called maternity leave. which means the employer and society does you a favor because you're in a state of weakness. Conversely, the male, for example, he can impregnate theoretically an infinite number of women, and it doesn't destroy his body. It doesn't make his body less attractive, less strong. So over the long haul, we see on a consistent basis, the male is clearly more valuable. But understand this, I am not one like you who are clearly probably a homosexual now. I'm a heterosexual man. My great effort is not to establish the male is more valuable than the female. My great effort is to establish the union of the two as the most valuable thing. You're a sick person who has such a bad relationship. You said, I'm just sticking to women.
Speak your speech, nigga. Speak your speech.
I yield the floor.
Okay, thank you for yielding the floor. Now you just went all of that blah, 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 blah to
She literally said that while he was speaking too. I don't know if y'all caught that. She was like blah 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 while he was in the middle of while he was talking.
deflect from the question that I asked you, which was if women were not the prize, why do men have to them? First and
He did answer that question.
foremost, the biological fact is that by nature, the ultimate objective of the male is sex. Sex is the male's biggest impediment, and it is his ultimate biological objective. His number one reason for pursuing a woman is sex off the rip. And this is the reason why they have to take it. And
she's searching for something profound to say, but she don't know what to say.
On top of that, there are 41 different shades of men, and they use you for something. And don't let a male try to lie to you as if he ain't trying to use you for something, baby. A male can run 6 miles, but they stay lazy as hell. Most of them ain't doing that.
She sounds like a misandrist to me.
They can run however much they want, but guess what? They want a woman to cook. They want him to raise. They want her to produce his kids. They want her to do a whole bunch of stuff that has something to do outside of sex within this matrix. Okay, so biologically speaking, which is where we were talking.
You see how she had to turn around biologically speaking. She knows she ain't got nothing good to say
about. The vagina is on the woman's body.
Why would you come and try to have a conversation with this man? I would really want to see somebody have an intellectual conversation and give Marquette a run for his money. He dusting her off so easily. I think I could have handled just the beat right here, man.
Her body is her. It's a part of her. And to take something from her because you feel like you can take it, you're going to have to explain to me why that is not of value. You say it's of temporary value, right? Value is value. And guess what? The male operates from the lower chakras, from his lower self, which ultimately is sex. Or, okay, you don't want me to put it in chakra terms? Let's just go through Maslow's hierarchy of human needs.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
He operates from the lower self down, right? Yeah. Go.
What the hell is she talking about? Chakras and all of this. It don't have nothing to do with nothing. She's using all of these words to ask him the same question that he already answered. This is amazing.
Amazing.
Go ahead. Because I'm about to laugh at you too. No, I'm give me a second. I'm gonna laugh at you too, because this is a laughing circus here. So go ahead. I still need an answer as to why men, if women ain't the prize. All right.
He already answered that question, yo.
I actually already answered that question. How you were able to miss the answer is only a representation of your level of.
No, I didn't miss it, but I wanted you to repeat it.
That's not a representation of the answer being absent. That's just that you didn't get it. And
right, because why would you want him to repeat it if you got it? That don't even make sense. You're supposed to move the conversation along, man.
I will break it down once more.
Go ahead.
You are so base in your understanding that you identify the woman as the
Yeah, most people are lost because she's lost because she can't keep up with the conversation.
vagina, whereas a real woman has so much more to offer than her vagina. And the male values in the woman that's not worth anything, the only thing he can value is the vagina. It's an inherent value, but it's only temporary. That's why we don't keep those women. We will slay them and play them. We'll discard them, similar to what has happened to you. So the fact is that I know you've clearly been victim of some kind of sexual trauma, and honestly, that saddens me. If I could undo that for you, if I could provided you a better protector, better father to have prevented that, I would absolutely do that. But the level of anger that you have right now, you're expressing a philosophy I've heard many times before. It comes directly from Valerie.
Watch her, y'all. Watch the truth. Watch it. Watch what the truth do, man. It amazes me.
Solanas, who's probably the chief philosopher of gender feminists. You probably have never heard of her, but that's where your ideology comes from. This homosexual, lesbian, white woman who actually ended up killing a man. And you, with your kind of mindset, it's impossible for you to have a proper relationship with your husband.
What the hell that got to do with the question I asked you, sir? No, seriously, because this is a circus. I don't got time for that. It's a circus. It's
you
a
get
circus,
so angry.
sir.
I don't interrupt you. There's repeated interruption. Some people hate the truth. What I'm saying to you is that when you have hatred of men, there's no way you can have a proper friendship with your former husband who is a man. In my case, I have a great respect and love for women. That's why I'm able to understand the woman with holistic approach rather than just looking at her as vagina. So my answer to you is the woman is valuable, but she's not the value you identify, because when you're using the state of nature analogy and we're talking about the ability of some cavemen to take sex from the female who is unprotected, they're only taking that as a temporary value. And in fact, the female declines rapidly in value over time. That is why marriage and typically monogamy are more value to a woman, because it benefits them, because their value on the sexual marketplace declines rapidly. And are you a homosexual now? Is that what you're saying? You're practicing homosexuality?
Practicing, baby, I get more than you do.
Oh,
What?
Yeah.
you might be right. That's
hold on.
Congratulations.
I beg your
Right.
pardon.
So
I beg your pardon.
She said, I probably get more poom poom than you.
because the woman is the value. So why would I mess with dudes when I can just take the value? Anyway, so you think
What?
hey,
What did that just mean, y'all? She said, when I could just take the value? So are you admitting to taking the... All right.
so you think, Mr. Saint, Saint, you think that I think that the only value to the woman is sex. You think that, right? Okay, well, that's interesting, because I don't know how I would have been able to come up with 41 different types of men with the different things that they use women for. I don't know how I would be able to do that based on just sex. You're right. Women have a lot of value, totally. But the ultimate biological objective of the male in nature, his natural wiring, is sex. It's capped at sex. And it takes a lot for a male to get out into a mind space and operate from another level. But a male will use a woman for a lot of stuff, baby. And guess what? Attraction ain't nothing but a magnet to pull a man, to pull the actual value out of a woman. And it ain't no such thing as an undesirable woman.
I'll see y'all in the chat. Yeah, she crazy.
Because guess what? Every woman got something that a man want to use. So here's the thing. Ain't nobody approaching males to use nothing out of them, especially in nature. Now, in an artificial system where somebody got to give you some money, right? A job that doesn't exist in raw nature, where you're a slave to the system. Yeah, you might get a girl at McDonald's that want to ride in your little limousine or whatever the case may be. But in nature, it is the woman that possesses all of the things that males want to use, which is the reason why you want multiple women. Now, I know.
Yo, I can't believe she got a book and she got a following. There's really women that's listening to this woman like she is professing something profound. And she's saying a whole bunch of garbage. She ain't saying nothing that's valid. It's all theoretical or it's emotion based, like a feeling based off her own anecdotal experience. And she's doing something that a lot of women get upset with men do. Say they pretty much try to make a monolith. And he done made it clear, like, look, I'm not pinning men against women. She just keep trying to make this point, like men are just, or males are just so bad people. And it's the species that controls everything. And I think she may envy that. Cause she actually, why would you imitate a man if we're so bad? Why would you try to start acting like a man and dealing with women like men? And I just wish some women could have a reality check when they think so low of men, really misandrous. I wish they could experience a day without having to be able to utilize anything man-made and see how far she gets throughout her day. Because you know what? She'll wake up outside on the ground because men create 99% of the things you see. So this is just a reality that for some reason, most women don't value men or the male species anymore. And it's sad because you're really going against your own nature of everything that's keeping you alive to survive and to make you thrive, which is men. But that's my rant for the day. We got to get through this. I appreciate y'all, everybody that's still listening, but most of y'all can't.
You can't handle the truth.
That the majority of males think it's funny when women have multiple men around them. It's not a flex.
You're a lesbian. What are you talking about?
No. Listen. Oh, you talked about me. You're doing it too. Y'all laugh about women. Laughing at women who have multiple men ain't got nothing to do with me, because now you're trying to be subjective. I'm objective. What I'm saying ain't got a damn thing to do with me. Y'all will laugh at women who call themselves having multiple boyfriends or multiple men, sleeping with multiple men, right? It's not the same. Can we agree with that? A woman being with multiple males versus a male being with multiple females is not the same. Is that correct? Can we agree on that?
That's a truism.
Is it true? It is okay.
A truism. Yes, it's a truism. Something that's so obvious you need not even
No, right. So why is that? Because a male who surrounds himself with multiple women surrounds himself with life force, energy, and value. A woman who surrounds herself with multiple males surrounds herself with death and no value. Here's the thing. Women are born with value. Men have to build it up. If men have to build it up, that means they're born with no value. And most men ain't building jack up. So here's the thing. It don't matter what you saying. I don't yield the floor just yet. It don't matter what you saying, because the facts of nature prove who and what y'all are, right? Y'all want multiple women so y'all can suck them.
If any man went on any platform and started speaking about women the way she's speaking about men, he would be canceled. He won't never make it to another show, podcast at all.
I'm dry. Cool. Now you can have the floor and I'll sit up here and laugh at what you finna say.
I really am entertained. I'm not going to lie. And I appreciate your effort. Let me Jedi mind trick you real quick. We're talking about value. You see, when you define the woman's value, it's quite fascinating that her value only comes from the male. You see, her value is not independent of the male. It actually only comes from the male. When you mention the woman having value, and because you're a sex-focused person, which is not surprising, you're part of the LGBTQ, you're basically saying that the woman's value comes from sex, and the person who is making the pursuit of sex is the male. Hence, the woman's value itself comes from the male. It's really sad. Like if you think about that deeply, you'll kind of understand who's really the boss in that dynamic. Furthermore, you make a great effort to spew your misandrous beliefs, which I know come from pain, and my heart does go out to you. But when you say something so silly as the idea that the male is a sexual primitive being. Well, certainly both the male and the female would have to be sexual beings. And that's clear, and there's significant evidence for that, such that it's not even worth reviewing. It's a truism. If we weren't both sexual beings, humankind would cease to exist. Or if people were mentally ill and they were engaging in your sexual behaviors, humankind would cease to exist. Furthermore, when you say something suggesting that the male is such a primitive sexual being that, as you put it, can't get his mind beyond sex, well, then that would make me question how you're speaking into a microphone, an electronic device, a significant piece of technology that was created by a man. And the architecture that created the building that you're in, probably an apartment, was also created by a man. Most everything that you observe was created by a man. And let me further expose you, because you're a person who actually takes all of your thinking from a man. For example, on your own Instagram, you only have 2 books referenced. They're both written by men, because you come to the man seeking our superior knowledge. Furthermore, even the book that you have in your hand, which you wrote, you modeled the title of that book after a man's book, Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. You're modeling everything you do after the man. And let me explain to you true inferiority. True inferiority is when you think so little of yourself that you don't want to be what you actually are. Your great effort is to emulate the man. Everything about you is majoring. You're basically trying to behave like a guy. You're wearing a baseball cap. Are you about to have a baseball game? No, you're not. Listen to your voice. Sounds like a masculine voice. Listen to how people describe you. They describe you as a male.
That truthism is killing her.
And look at your book title.
She about to say something.
You basically bootlegged it from a man's book. And listen to the books that you reference on your Instagram. Pimp, well, that's a story from a man. And here's the thing. You want to co-opt all the ideas and say that women can be pimps too. No, the man is the pimp. You're the Get that part right. Stop trying to flip the world upside down. We don't believe you because you're so delusional, and only a broken, traumatized mind gets to a point where you see up as down and left as right.
Message.
Wow. Shout out to Saint in the Center. Even shout out to the Queen Maker. They had a nice little debate right there. This was another episode of Truthful Talk Radio live reaction. Make sure you send that email, truthfultalkgmail@gmail.com, if you want me to react to a particular video. We're about to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody. If you was here for the first segment of the show, the Truthful Talk Radio, the same thing. If you got a hot artist that you want played right here on Truthful Talk Radio, send it to the email scrolling down below. I appreciate the love and support, the people interacting. To the next time. We're about to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for spending your time with me, getting this truthism. Truth be told, I appreciate y'all. We're about to get up out of here. Peace out. Stop your shenanigans.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Kevin Samuels.
Cut that bullshit out. Get that bullshit up out of here. Where the fuck they do that at? They don't do that here. And if they do that there, then nigga, I'm good right here. Cut all that bullshit there out. Stop your shenanigans. Stop your shenanigans, nigga. Now cut that shit out. Stop your shenanigans. Stop your shenanigans, nigga. Now cut that shit out.
Players for life.
I don't
You're
lie
now live
about
in the mix
shit.
on Truthful Talk Radio.
If I see
You
it, then
can't handle the truth.
you be lying about shit.